Yo guys, Shadow King here, and today we're bringing you part 2 of What If Issei was reincarnated into the slime universe. Before I forget, Issei would not be a slime, his body was just reconstructed by magicules, and thanks to the palm pieces like holding most of his soul together, along with Drake unintentionally doing that as well, his soul was able to um his palm pieces were able to release the whole magic that changes like certain creatures and humans into devils. So since the palm pieces were kept majority of Issei's um sort of DNA, it's kind of like when Cell was blew himself up when he was semi-perfect Cell and then returned as perfect Cell. It was kind of like that in a way. But anyways, yeah. So, anyways, getting into the what if. You say we're just gonna be walking around and just kind of like killing and trying to get a little bit stronger, or at least trying to kill some monsters because he doesn't have the water skill yet because he never really needed it because he usually flies or tries to fly. So, Easy would actually be trying to do this with like just his bare hands or using a little bit of magic with the guidance of Great Sage. Not to mention, Great Sage is now analyzing Issei's palm pieces because Great Sage said that it found something interesting with the palm pieces. So it's currently analyzing it in order for Issei to get stronger somewhat. So after a few failed attempts and some more practice, Issei has been able to use like magic to sort of like concentrated magic into kind of like a keyblade to sort of like attack monsters. And Issei is able to use this with relatively some difficulty, but in the end he gets the hang of it. So Issei is going to be a little bit more experimental with like how he uses the skills in magic. And since he has double magic, it's all like he's trying to like be creative with double magic and not using any standard typical traditional devil magic. So this is more of a jack of all trades, you can say. So um Issei would inevitably kind of um when he comes across the like big gap in where like Rimuru in the original canon used to like the skill iron thread feathers to like swing across, Issei would just kind of pull out his wings. And when he does so, he realizes that he has an extra pair of wings. As he says, so like, wait, why do I have an extra pair of wings? As Great Sage says, due to the magic heals and power that you received from Veldora when during the whole naming process, um, your body became that of more of a height of a mid-tier devil. Um, and since you still haven't um completely gained mastery over your true power, it's only stuck at 4 wings for now. But once you master your true power, you will be at least 6 or 8 wings. And he says, like, huh, that's neat. As Issei would then just proceed to fly over the cavern, or, yeah. As he lands on the other side, as he continues walking around. As Issei would then just kind of think back, saying, hey, Great Sage, why is it that I kept my clothes? As Great Sages are like, magic. As Issei's are like, bullshit. Well, that's the only explanation that actually counts for now. So, So Issa was just gonna continue walking as he makes it to the big iron door. Also, Issei did manage to kill the same monsters that Rimuru killed and gain their abilities, so he's all like, yes, I'm getting stronger. As he kind of thinks of perverted ways to use the iron thread feathers. As he's all like, Um, so once he makes it to the big door, he's all like, "How am I gonna open this? Let's see." Hmm. As he's all like, "Since this world's filled with magic, maybe open sesame." As like nothing happens for a few minutes, as he says, "I like, well, that was embarrassing." As then the doors begin to open, as he says, "Like, oh shit, it worked." As Great Sage saying, "Warning, th- three individuals coming your way, humans. It's best not to appropriate response, best not to be seen." As he says, like, "Oh shit," as he just kind of like uses his double wing at the last moment, they just fly up to on top of the ceiling, as he just kind of saw like it's Spider-Man now. As he just kind of hides on top of the ceiling, as the three individuals just kind of come in, kind of being saying the same thing as in canon, as he says, like, "Whoa, check out that girl. Her chest is not that developed, but I guess she wasn't an elf." As great stages are like, "Correction, she is an elf. She just isn't mature enough to grow into her chest." As he says, like, "Oh shit, really? Wow. Man, I thought the first elf I would see would be super busty." As great sages are like, "Yeah, how unfortunate." So once the three of them use stealth and just kind of get away, Ethan would just kind of like fly at the door and just kind of land on the ground saying, "Ah, fresh air." As he's all like, "I'm also surprised that I didn't have to eat for a while." As great sages are like, um, "Thanks to you eating the monsters, or killing the monsters that you killed, um, I transferred some of its nutrients that you needed in order to saturate your hunger. That's why you weren't very hungry." As he says, like, "Oh, wow, man, I'm glad I didn't eat them by chomping on them." As Grace says, "Yeah, like, yeah, lucky you. The snake would have killed you." As he says, like, "Wait, really?" Grace says, like, "Maybe." So Issa would just kind of continue walking around until the same goblins would run into him, as they're all like kind of scrawny and pathetic. As he says, like, "Oh shit, goblins." As the goblins would then just kind of like kneel or bow, saying like, "Oh, great one, like, what is your reason for visiting this forest?" Or strong one, what is your reason for visiting this forest? As he says, like, "Strong one. Yes, I am strong." Kind of getting the whole cocky attitude. As he says, like, "Well, I'm just kind of exploring around, you know. I kind of been stuck in this cave for like, I don't know, like 9 months." As the goblins are like, "Oh, we see, great one. So, do you mind accompanying us to our humble village?" As he says, like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" As he says, like, thinking in his head, saying like, "Wow, I thought these goblins would have been more of the whole from Goblin Slayer." That would have been terrifying. Although kind of erotic to see. His great sages are like, "Yes, how unfortunate." So Asa would just make it back to the Goblin Village as he's like, "Oh yeah, goblins are usually more of a scavengers type, not really builders. Well, anyways, let's meet this elder guy that this goblin told me to meet." So Asa would just kind of be sitting down on the mattress as um as the elders are like, "Well, strong one, um, can you listen out to our request or something, or is it is it too much to ask for a request?" As he says, like, um, "No, not really that bothersome. Like, let's hear it." As the elder would then just explain the whole situation with the direwolves and how they're getting hunted down and how his son died. I guess the direwolves, as he says, are like, "Wow. I mean, usually I expect these goblins to be more of the whole from Goblin Slayer, but I guess that was just a stereotype." these goblins actually seem more of nice people. Well then, I'll help them out. I am a devil contractor after all. As in, Issei would just kind of walk out the tent saying, like, do not fear, everyone, for I, Issei Tempest, um, the pawn, or, yeah, or, like, the servant of the great devil, Rias Grimry, will lead you or help you out on your quest. As the goblins are all like, whoa, he's one of the servants of a devil, of a high-ranking devil, or demon, or whatever they call. I don't know, really not sure if there are actual devils in this, but for the sake of story, I will just say there is. As the goblins then just begin cheering, saying like, yeah, woo! Um, if a high-ranking devil emissary or servant is helping us, then we're sure to win. As in, Issei's are like, yes, yes, keep praising me and Rias more. As in, Issei's are like, well then, first things first, show me where the wounded are. As as the elder would just kind of show them the tent where the wounded are, as he says like, oof, ouch! Even I didn't have injuries as bad as these. Great sage. Is it possible to use the Hippocte herbs? As great sage is like, yes, it is possible. As he says like, okay then. As Issei just kind of like using magic, just kind of begins swirling some healing potions in his arm, and then just kind of like placing them on the goblins to heal them instead of just him kind of eating them. So, so the goblins are all healed. As he says, like, well then, next order of business is to prepare more defenses. Um, as in the goblins would just kind of listen to his request and just kind of say, yes, we will. So they just kind of begin building defenses as night would fall. As the leader of the direwolves, would just kind of begin charging at the whole goblin village, but sees a whole great fence that's there, along with Issei Hyodo or Issei Tempest, who's just kind of like sitting on top of the fence. As direwolf leaders will like tear that fence to pieces and kill them, as the direwolves would oblige, but would get shot at with arrows, and also getting stuck in sticky steel thread or steel thread. As the direwolf boss was still charging like in cannon, but Issei just kind of like jumps over him, using the sticky steel thread to just kind of like wrap him up. As he's all like, surrender, you, Wolfpack leader, surrender, and I'll spare your pack. As the Wolfpack leaders are like, I will never surrender. Let me go so I can tear you to pieces. As he says, like, well then, this is unfortunate for you then. As he just kind of pulls on the string, blowing the Wolfpack leader into pieces. As the other wolves, dire wolves, are kind of like surprised, but are pretty pissed off. As Issei would then just like walk over to the pieces and use Predator to eat the dire wolf boss, chopped up pieces. As great sages are like, your daily nutrients have been refilled, and you can now mimic the Wolfpack dire wolves. And you also have received the skills unique sense of smell and menace. As he says, are like, well, that's neat. Wait, mimicry? As Grace says, are like, yes, you can mimic other monsters. Did you not hear me when I said that? As he says, are like, I kind of was distracted. As great sages are like, by what? As Issei just kind of thinks back to every time he just ignores Great Sage and just kind of imagine boobies or titties, it's all like stuff. As Great Sages are like, wow. So Issei would then just proceed to use mimicry as he copies or mimics a direwolf, as the direwolf that Issei just sort of turns into has been kind of like upgraded a little bit. Not to the point where he's a type of star wolf, but up to the point where he's more of a devil wolf, actually, because the direwolf that Issei turned into was more winged, or actually was complete with the devil wings. As Issei's all like, "Hear me, surrender, or I'll kill you all." As he's all like, he's a unique skill menace, he just kind of menaced them. As in the direwolves would just kind of close in and just kind of kneel before him, saying like, um, "We understand, or we surrender. We will not work under you." And he says like, "Huh? All right." Surrendering. I never gave them the chance to run away. Oh, that was my mistake. As he then de-transforms back into his human form, or human devil form, as the goblin leader is all like, "Did we win?" As he says like, "Yep, we won." So now, it's the next day, as he says like, their numbers are about equal, meaning that like each one of them can be paired up with a wolf, meaning that um, meaning that there will be like familiars of some sort. As he's all like, "Okay, listen up. I want all of you to pair up, and if you don't understand what that means, it means one goblin and one direwolf would would be partners." As the goblins are all like, "Oh." So they begin pairing up as he says, like, "All right, listen here. What I think of all of you is not as servants, but as family. The Gremory family, the one who, or the one who, like, sort of took me in as her servant, didn't treat us like servants. We were more treated like family. So I want all of you to be the same, because even if I'm technically stronger than you, doesn't mean that I will think less of you. So all of you, so that means all of you I will think of as my own family. And family do what they do best: protect and have each other's back. So that's what that's what I expect from all of you." As the goblins and wolves are all like, "Yes, sir." As he says, like, "Well then, now as for, wait a minute, I never actually got your guys' names." As as the elders are like, "We monsters never usually have names." As he says, like, "All right, the same was for me. I was technically nameless when I was reincarnated into this world, but I still retain my name Issei Hyodo, or I still remember my own name, until Valdora gave me a new name, which was Issei Tempest." Well then. So, anyways, so Issei's are like, "Well then, in this case, I'll give you all names." As the goblins are all like surprised, saying like, "Wait, are you serious? Like, as in giving us all names?" And Issei's are like, "Yeah, I can't exactly have you all being nameless, and I don't know any of your names. And besides, you're all family, remember?" As the goblins and wolves are beginning to cry tears of joy, as they all line up to be giving the names. As Issei will still continue on with the same naming, giving Rigard the same name, giving Rigard the same name, Haruna, Gata, Gabse, all those names, because Issei sort of sucks at naming, as well as Rimuru. So, um, so when it comes to the direwolf boss or the new boss, Issei's are like, Stormfang Wind. And he was to come out with the same name as Ranga, but he feels like a wolf, like of his color. Because remember, Issei is technically younger than Rimuru, about 24 years. So Issei still he's so immature. So he's all like he needs a cool name, a cool title to go along with it. So Issei just kind of begins thinking, saying, as he's all like, Ranga. I'll be giving you the name Ranga along with the title of of the. God damn it! I can't say the name. Ranga of the Gremory family. As Ranga's all like, Ranga of the Gremory family. Yes, that is my new name now. As then Issei just sort of like says, yeah, and I will. What's going on? Why is the world a whole lot dizzy? As he just kind of passes out. As they're all like, Master! As great sages are like, you have run out of magic cures going into sleep mode. As he says all like, sleep mode? Running out of magic cures. Never saw that coming. So anyways, this is where we're going to be leaving it off, guys. Shadow King out. See you guys in the next part.